Welcome to the Pilot's Inner Circle on Flight Training Radio, where a good pilot is always learning. Now, here's your host and certified flight instructor extraordinaire, Jason Schappert.
Hey everybody, Jason Schappert here of M0A.com, and welcome to Flight Training Radio, a part of the Pilot's Inner Circle. And must I say, does it ever feel good or great to be back? Real quick intro, then I'll explain to you what I'm talking about here. This is the Pilot's Inner Circle. Literally, by listening to this podcast, members are earning FAA Wings credits towards renewing their pilot certificate. This is the only podcast that is FAA approved for Wings credit. So if that's something that interests you, it's something we do each and every Monday at 3 p.m. You can go ahead and check that out by going to pilotsinnercircle.com to earn those Wings credits, or to sign up to become a member. Then from there you can access those Wings credit. Also access to weekly workshops, webinars we do each and every Monday. You guys have been to some of my webinars. If you really enjoy that learning and that teaching format, is a great way to get access to that. So that is pilotsinnercircle.com to become a member today. Real quick too, this call is 100% live. You can call in right now. That call-in number is toll-free. It's at 877-537-6704. So toll free 877-537-6704. I've also got a window for Facebook and a window for Twitter opened up on the computer here. So if you don't want to call in or at work and unable to call in right now, hit me up on the M0A Facebook wall or an @reply on Twitter. And we can correspond that way as well. We'll take questions kind of towards the end here, so if you call in early, just bear with me a little bit, and we'll take questions towards the end of this segment. So if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about and what I just recently got back from, you really missed out. We just completed our first annual aviation seminar at sea. Now, let me tell you, it was an incredible experience. Just a bunch of pilots getting together for a really, really nice vacation, doing some seminars in the conference room on the ship, going to the highlight being going to Airport Beach in St. Martin. And if you guys want to see pictures, I just, about 30 minutes ago, posted pictures on the M0A Facebook. So go on Facebook /MZEROA, and you can see those pictures there. Just really, really great stuff, especially from Airport Beach, but just a beautiful, great time. Met a lot of you guys, a lot of M0A fans. So just a really nice chance to meet a lot of you guys and hang out and do what pilots do best, and that's hangar talk and hangar fly sometimes. So we really had a wonderful time. All those pilots also earned Wings credits, actually enough Wings credits to push back their flight review. That is possible, earning advanced level credits, and they earned those advanced level credits on the aviation seminar at sea. We're just starting now bookings for 2013. You can start making, payments on it. It's actually it's not even that expensive. We had a wonderful time, so I hope that you will put it in your calendar for around this time next year, planning for the aviation seminar at sea. It is a pilot's dream vacation, and you certainly won't want to miss it at all. And actually, next week I'm going to have a few people on that attended and chat with them a little bit too about it. So let me grab a drink of water real quick here, and we're going to get on to the real topic. Give me 1 second here. Excuse me. That's one of the byproducts of being live. Anyway, speaking of being live, 877-537-6704 is the number to call, and that's toll free, or Facebook or Twitter with your questions. And we'll get those answered for you live on the air. The real topic I wanted to talk about today was this: flying in Class D, Class Delta airspace. I know dozens and dozens of students. I get these emails on a very constant basis. Students, and some students, not all, especially, and I'll share the story a little bit later, but students oftentimes have a phobia of talking to another human, that being an air traffic controller, on the radios. Class Delta, Class Charlie, and Class Bravo airport operations can be very intimidating, but you're going to realize when you master one, you've effectively mastered them all. If you can master Class Delta communications, that is your foundation to continue and progress. I mean, I don't know a single private pilot that doesn't have the aspirations of eventually becoming an instrument-rated pilot. And there's two crucial things when it comes to your instrument rating. You already know how to fly the airplane, so the flying the airplane thing's not hard. It's the knowledge and it's the radio communications. If you can master the knowledge portion of it, 90% of that instrument is knowledge. The rest of it is all learning how to talk on the radios professionally to correlate your message. So that is it. What we're going to talk about is flying in Class D airspace. And you know what? We all have different experiences with Class D airspace. Unfortunately, our little Class Delta here at Ocala Oscar Charlie Foxtrot, nice Class Delta, very, very nice, great controllers, especially for my students coming in there with limited experience. They are great for them. But that little Class Delta doesn't even have a radar. Now, most Class Deltas do have a radar, but some are just visual towers. Literally, they just stand up there, and it's a great lookout point to use their binoculars. There's nothing to be intimidated by. These guys are here to help you, to add some methods to the madness. I mean, previously Ocala, at the Ocala airport when it was uncontrolled, I'd be calling, I'm turning base 436, and someone announced they're taking off runway 18. I'm thinking, you're out of your mind. But now a tower adds, some method there and someone watching over you. So anyways, let's get really into the meat and potatoes of this. And let's start with the basics. On the ground, talking to ground. The very first thing is this. Listen to the ATIS first. A Class Delta airport is going to have an ATIS, AWOS, ASOS, some sort of recorded weather to give to you. I like to listen to this when I'm using my handheld radio sitting in the hangar. Or before I start that airplane up, turn the master switch on, turn the avionics switch on, and then listen to the ATIS from there. You got to remember, flying is expensive. The bill really starts getting expensive when that prop starts turning. Don't waste any of that valuable time. Use a handheld radio on the ground, or just turn the master switch and the avionics switch on and put it on the speaker and listen and copy down that ATIS. That way, once you get in the airplane, you're ready to rock and roll. You've already got the information you need. There's no sense to, add one more thing to do. I'm holding the brakes. I'm bringing the throttle back to idle. I hope no one's walking around me. Now I'm checking the ATIS. Do it in the comfort of not having anything going on, sitting on the ground there. So we get in the airplane. We start it up. We've got our ATIS copied. It's information Charlie will say. And we are going to cold call them. You guys know I'm a big fan of the cold call. I teach the cold call. You're going to hear a lot of people that don't cold call. You're also going to get those people who don't cold call, get a lot of say again, please, aircraft calling, say again, from the tower and the ground controller. A cold call is simply the way to do it. And what do I mean by a cold call? I mean going up to them and something as simple as Ocala ground, Cessna 512 Romeo. Bam, that's it. Just leave it at that. Waiting for them to respond to you. Excuse me. Waiting for them to respond to you. You need to get their attention. These guys are on the phone trying to coordinate arrivals, departures, IFR departures, all sorts of stuff. They could be back there pouring a cup of coffee. You don't know, okay? Cold call these guys first. Ocala ground, Cessna 512 Romeo. It's a perfect cold call. Acknowledge them, acknowledge who you are, and leave it at that. Wait for them to come back to you. Cessna 512 Romeo, Ocala ground, go ahead. And now is here where it gets interesting. If you're taking notes, and you should be taking notes, not just for this, but certainly when they're about to give you your clearance, you want to write this down. They want to know, answer these questions. Who am I? Where am I? With what info? What do I want to do? and where am I going? I'm going to go over those again and explain them for those of you that may have missed that. Who am I? Cessna 512 Romeo. So obviously you want to acknowledge them first again, and then say yourself again, just like you did in the cold call. So Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo. The next thing, where am I? Is on the ground at the North Hangars, or on the ground at the restaurant, or on the ground at Landmark Aviation, wherever you're at, whether it be a business or just something that tower is going to know on that field. So Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo, on the ground at the North Hangars. Next question is, with what info? Don't listen to that whole big long ATIS, not to tell them that, you know, that you didn't listen to it, basically. You need to tell them that you have information, Charlie. Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo, on the ground at the North Hangars with information, Charlie. So now they know that, okay, Cessna 512 Romeo has the most up-to-date information. And you know why this helps? Because there's been times where I listen to the ATIS, and by the time I listen to the ATIS, jump in the airplane, start up the airplane, give ground a call, I tell them I have information Charlie, they come back and say Cessna 512 Romeo, Roger, information Delta is current now, the new altimeter is this, the clouds are now doing this, and the winds are now doing this. It's a huge help. So now we're all on the same page. Make sense? So far we've gotten this far. Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo, on the ground at the North Hangars with information Charlie. And now, what do I want to do? Well, this is the simplest part. You can almost cut this part, out of here effectively. You want a taxi, ready to taxi, and the only reason I have this in there is because you could taxi to get fuel. You could taxi to reposition the airplane somewhere else on the airport. There's a few things, but we're talking classic departure. So ready to taxi, and the last one, where am I going? VFR to the west, something like that. So let's practice that again. From the beginning with the cold call, Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for them to come back and acknowledge me. Cessna 512 Romeo, Ocala Ground, go ahead. Ocala Ground, Cessna 512 Romeo, on the ground at the North Hangars with information Charlie, ready to taxi VFR to the west. And in that simple radio call, in that simple formula, you conveyed the perfect message. They not only know you have all your information, they know where you're at, they know where you are going, because now that ground controller is going to look to that tower controller and say, hey, there's going to be one coming to you soon. He's heading out to the west, so be ready for him. He's just ready to go. All right? And then from there, you're simply going to listen, pen in hand, kneeboard on the knee, paper clean and ready, because here comes the taxi clearance. They're going to give you some crazy Cessna 512 Romeo, Roger, turn left on Alpha, right on Bravo 2, left on Charlie 1 to runway 36. And you're just simply going to read back exactly what they told you there. You're going to write it down. Alpha, Bravo 2, left on Charlie to 36, Cessna 512 Romeo. Write it down, then read it back. One thing I teach all my students, and I've said this before, I said this in the flight following module, or flight following show we did. You're never going to forget who you are, but you're going to forget what they told you. What do I mean by that? Too many times students like to add their tail number first. So picture this. I just got this big, long taxi clearance, okay? They told me, let's say, left on Alpha, left on Bravo, right on Charlie. So right now, in your mind, psychologically, it's easier to go left on Alpha, left on Bravo, right on Charlie, Cessna 512 Romeo. You're going to forget the whole left, right thing they just told you. But you're never going to forget who you are, Cessna 512 Romeo, because it's pasted right in front of you. Too many times I see students do this. They get their big clearance thing and go, okay, Cessna 512 Romeo, left on Alpha, right, say again, please. When you start adding other numbers and stuff to the equation, your brain loses that last thought that it was on its mind. It's just like simple psychology. So, saying your tail number last. Read back the big clearance, left on Alpha, left on Bravo, right on Charlie, Cessna 512 Romeo. That's simple. Say what they said right back to them, and then your tail number. Obviously, you're copying it down. And literally, just use your shorthand. For that, a left on Alpha, I just write LA for left and Alpha. You could draw arrows if you don't want to confuse L with like a Lima. Okay, so you could, do that. I just got a message from my buddy Larry, having his airport diagram always ready to rock and roll is something teaches his students. Absolutely. I like to have a clean airport diagram, print them off the internet, easy. And I like to draw how I'm going to get there sometimes. Make it real easy on myself. Turn-by-turn directions practically. Right? So let's say this. We've now taxied. Everything is great. Now it's time to take off. How are we going to get permission to take off? Well, let me share something with you. Now there is no need to cold call. Why is that? People get confused. Well, I cold called them last time. Why don't I cold call them this time? It's a new person. Well, because you've already established contact with Ocala. Does that make sense? I've already talked to somebody at Ocala. This gentleman already knows to expect me. He's going to be ready for me. There is no need to cold call. When you take off, though, it's important to let them know still where you're at. For example, I like to use all of runway 36 at the Ocala airport. Well, all of runway 36 takes me all the way down to Alpha 11, the very last taxiway off of Alpha onto 36. So I like to give them a call. Ocala Tower, Cessna 512 Romeo, ready for takeoff, 36 Alpha 11. That way they know, because if they have Alpha 11, they have Alpha 1 through 11. So if I just call him up and say 512 Romeo is ready for takeoff, he's going to look and go, 512 Romeo, where the heck are you? I've got 11 possible places you could take off. Which one of those is you? Or there's a few other airplanes lined up. 512 Romeo, which one is you? So let them know, ready for takeoff, 36 at Alpha 11. That way they always know where to look. All right? And then from there, you're just reading back the essentials, reading back the important stuff. This is where this is a very, very common student error. And the tower is just trying to be very friendly. They're trying to do you a favor, give you as much information as possible. But sometimes too information can be too much for a student pilot. You need to process it and be done with it. What I mean by that is this. A lot of times I'll get a takeoff clearance that says, Cessna 512 Romeo, wind 020 at 7. You're clear for takeoff, runway 36. And the student's going, wind 020, it's windy, And they're going, you don't need to read back the winds. The only thing that needs to be read back is cleared for takeoff, runway 36, 512 Romeo. Only thing that needs to be read back that you were cleared for takeoff and which runway. Sometimes I have the opposite end of the spectrum. Students will get a big long clearance like that, and they'll say something like, Roger, and just taxi onto the runway and take off. The tower doesn't know if you acknowledge the winds. Or imagine you get a big long taxi clearance like this, Cessna 512 Romeo, wind 020 at 7. Be advised, there's birds in the vicinity, northwest of the airport. You're clear for takeoff, runway 36. All right, the students got so much going through their mind, they just do something like, Roger, and taxi right out onto the runway. That's not the right thing to do. You've got to process what they just said. Okay, wind 020 at 7. Okay, sounds good. Bam. Instantly look into the windsock to visualize what that 020 looks like for me on my runway 36 takeoff. Birds in the vicinity northwest, got that. I'll be on the lookout for that. I'm just heading out to the west, so maybe I'll make my turn a little bit early, or I'll keep my upwind, a little bit longer. You've got to process it and get rid of it, because all you need to read back is what? Clear for takeoff, runway 36, Cessna 512 Romeo. That's the essentials. Process and move forward. Okay, don't let a radio call that's a little bit busy really get the best of you when it comes to that situation. So the essentials. Coming back in, let's say we want to come back into that Class Delta airport now. It's really the same stuff. We haven't talked to them in a while, so we need to cold call them again. It's just like we were contacting ground again almost, except we're not on the ground this time. We're coming back in. Obviously, a typical Class Delta is 4 nautical miles around. I like to call them about 10 miles out if you're able. Cold call them. This time you're calling Tower now. Ocala Tower, Cessna 512 Romeo. Bam, there's my cold call. Stop and wait for them to come back and acknowledge you. Cessna 512 Romeo, Ocala Tower. Go ahead. Obviously, I've already listened to my ATIS. I'm just going to go through the exact same thing again. Ocala Tower, Cessna 512 Romeo. There's who I am. Now, where am I? Cessna 512 Romeo is 10 miles to the west with information Delta. Inbound for full stop. Something that simple. It's so easy. Let them know you have the information. Let them know where you are and let them know what you want to do. I'm 10 miles to the west with information Delta, inbound for a full stop. They're going to simply tell you, Cessna 512 Romeo, Roger, enter 2 mile left downwind for 36. 2 mile left downwind for 36, Cessna 512 Romeo. Reading back the essentials. You know what? It's just going to take practice. Radio communications can be tough. I know that. It's going to take practice. This is something you can simply practice just sitting on the ground. Go on a website like liveatc.net and listen to your local tower, a little local class Delta if they have it. Hear this sort of stuff. Again, learning by immersion is the best way to do stuff. Don't let radios slow you down. The FAA does not require you to learn how to talk on the radios, unfortunately. All you're required to do is learn how to do 3 solo landings at a control tower. Well, I'll tell you, I did 3 solo landings at a control tower during my private pilot training by the skin of my teeth because I had no clue what was going on. Thankfully, those controllers were in a very good mood that day because I was saying some crazy stuff on those radios and certainly not reading back and doing exactly what they were telling me to do. And that was that. That was my first tower experience. After that, I was terrified to fly, in or near a towered field. It wasn't until I began doing my instrument flying that I became confident on the radios finally. Don't let radios slow you down. Again, I'm a big fan of using flight following everywhere, even on the short little flights. Okay? Don't let radios slow you down. Learn to be a master of the radios, and it starts with Class Delta airport operations. So guys, if you have any questions on radio communications, anything flight training at all, I am here for you right now. Feel free to call in to talk about anything flying related. That number is toll free, and it is 877-537-6704. Call in right now, toll free, or if you're unable to call in right now, hit me up on Facebook. Just post on the M0A Facebook wall, or hit me up via an @reply on Twitter. At M0A. That's the spelled out version, M-Z-E-R-O-A. One more time, that number, 877-537-6704. We're going to take a quick commercial break, then get to your questions and chat a little bit more about the Aviation 7RC and some radio communication stuff. So be back with you guys in about 2 minutes. Are you prepared for an engine failure on takeoff? What if there was runway remaining? What if there isn't? Would you know what to do if you lost radio communications in IFR conditions? My newest book, In-Flight Emergencies, a step-by-step guide to handling the unexpected, will cover all of this and more. Readers learn about a topic such as engine failures on takeoff. Then at the end of the chapter, there's a URL where they can go and watch a video of an actual engine failure on takeoff and see how the pilot applied the skills mentioned in the book. We're adding videos you love to the books you need because a good pilot is always learning. Check out the book at inflightemergencies.com.
Hey there, quick question. What would you do if you lost your logbook? Imagine having to go back in time to track down all of those hours, dates, aircraft flown, and airports landed at. It's near impossible. Trust me, I've done it. Welcome to Runway Log, the best online pilot logbook that lets you log flights on your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. Attach photos to certain entries and see where you've been with our interactive map. Best of all, it's backed up every hour and fully exportable to CSV or PDF. Runway Log has your back. It even sends reminders when your flight review is due. Don't wait another second. Start your free trial of Runway Log today Visit runwaylog.com.
The Pilot's Inner Circle is more than just a ground school. It's a community.
And I want to thank you for all that you're doing. You're going to grow this show. You're going to be the most popular and best instructor in the nation because you focus on people and learning. You're sincere, you have integrity, and you have character. And your wife is a great gal, too.
Members get a chance to interact with me and others each and every week live in the radio shows like the one you're listening to now, or every Monday evening in the mock check rides and weekly workshop webinars that we do.
Jason really does a wonderful job teaching his students all the basics you're going to need to help pass your written test as well as your practical test. Once you're a member, the online seminars every week. This is really a big key as far as my training was concerned, because there's those nagging questions, exactly what does this do, what does that do?
With a 100% pass rate and over 1,000 check rides passed, what's not to love about the Pilot's Inner Circle? Members also get FAA Wings credit for listening to this very radio show you're listening to now, in addition to the extended version. So what's not to love? Visit pilotsinnercircle.com to become a member today. Alrighty, we are back. Welcome back to Flight Training Radio, a part of the Pilot's Inner Circle. You can learn more about how you too can earn FAA Wings credit simply by listening to this show right now. Go to pilotsinnercircle.com today to learn more about the only FAA approved Wings credit podcast. So anyways, guys, any questions you have for me, that toll-free call-in number is this: 877-537-6704. Also hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. I can answer your questions live. I haven't, if you sent me a question via email recently, as I said, we've been on the aviation seminar at sea, so email access has been limited. It's on my task list to go through and knock out all that. I get about 100 serious flight training questions asked a day. It's overwhelming sometimes. So I'm thinking, I've been gone for 7 days. I'm opening my inbox to 700 emails. It's going to take a full day and a couple cups of coffee, and I'm not even a coffee drinker. So we'll see how all that goes. Members, don't forget, tonight is our webinar. Every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we do our webinar for members. If you're not a member, you can become one by going to pilotsinnercircle.com today to sign up. What else do I have for you guys? Let me buzz around here and check for any questions. Again, all the pictures are up on Facebook right now. I think tomorrow I will post just some great videos from the aviation seminar at sea, so you guys will be able to really enjoy that and possibly put a deposit down on your aviation seminar, joining me on the aviation seminar at sea next year, and begin. You can make payments on it and everything else. So it's really, really just a great opportunity. So let's see what else here. I don't see any questions coming in here. I hope I'm doing that right. Everything should be okay. So anyways, guys, I'm going to get back to knocking out some of these emails, answering your questions. Again, any questions you have for me, don't hesitate to reach out via email, even as I go ahead and start to batch through those there, or Facebook, Twitter. Pilots Inner Circle members, you know how to get in touch with me best. You can either give the office a ring or jump on the forums is usually the best way to do that. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for all you do. You guys are a huge, just a huge blessing to myself and my beautiful bride. You're the reason this business is so wonderful. You're also the reason we get up and do what we do so early and so late each and every day. So anything I can do for you guys, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here for you. Remember, go to pilotsinnercircle.com to become a member today so we can interact a little bit more and take that flight training relationship to the next level so we can help you just exceed in all things aviation. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Members, stay tuned for the members-only portion. Everybody else, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, guys. See ya.